Okay, so this is a short one. It's not even 10 questions. We have a worksheet on ramps and inclines. So here is the first page, and here is the second page. Not that many questions, so let's bang them out. All right, so we got a block at rest on the incline, and it wants to know what are the forces acting on the block. The identified forces are the normal force, the friction force, and Fw, which they're calling the weight. All right, well, we know that the weight always points straight down, but let's actually take a look at the block and walk through the analysis of the forces on that block. All right, so here's the block on the ramp. I think the ramp in the diagram is steeper than my ramp. It doesn't matter. And remember that the way ramps work is that the axes that matter are the axes parallel and perpendicular to the ramp. So let's draw in those axes. Parallel axis, perpendicular axis. Now, one thing to remember is that no matter what the axis, like what the angle is of your ramp, the weight is always going to point straight down. So there's our weight pointing straight down. They call it Fw in this case. I like to call it Fg, force due to gravity. That's the weight. All right, now, if we kind of set our coordinate scheme and look at our axes, we actually see that that weight would be like in the third quadrant of these axes. Like if this would be quadrant 1, and this was quadrant 2, and this was quadrant 3, and then this was quadrant 4, then that weight would be considered to be in the third quadrant, which means that it has two components. It has a component perpendicular to the ramp and a component parallel to the ramp. So now our weight is split into its two components. We have F perpendicular, which is the portion of the weight pressing, of the block's weight pressing into the ramp. And then we have F parallel, which is parallel to the ramp, and that's the component of the block's weight which is going down the ramp. So if the block was going to slide, it's that piece right there, it's that F parallel that would accelerate it down the ramp. And then the contact force with the ramp is this guy right here, that's F perpendicular. And because in Newton's third law, if the block contacts the ramp, pushes into the ramp is going to push back. There's that response force from the ramp, that orange force right there, that's the normal force. And we used to say that the normal force equals the weight. Normal force does equal the weight when you're not on a ramp, but we are on a ramp. And so the normal force always equals, ramp or no ramp, F perpendicular. Now the problem does say that the block is at rest. And if the block is at rest, that means that the net force is equal to 0. Now the normal force here and the F perpendicular, they're going to cancel each other, but there's nothing to cancel F parallel, so that block is going to slide down the ramp, unless there's friction. Now if the net force is 0, then the friction force opposing the motion has to equal F parallel, no more, no less. If it was a little bit less, it would still accelerate down the ramp. A little more is impossible. That means that the friction force would be presenting a net force up the ramp, that the block would start to crawl up the ramp like magically. That just doesn't happen. So if it's at rest, there's our friction force, and that friction force going up the ramp is going to equal F parallel going down the ramp if the net force is 0. And so the normal force, the weight, the F parallel, and the friction, the normal force cancels with the F perpendicular. The F parallel cancels with the force of friction. Everything cancels. There's no net force, and the block sits on the ramp. Now, let's take a look at our diagrams. The diagrams they're talking about, they're referring to, and the forces that they're referring to in their diagrams, let's put it that way, are the normal force, the friction force, and the weight. So technically, F parallel and F perpendicular are the components of the weight. So I'm going to take my diagram that I drew with very nice straight lines, and I'm going to highlight it without my straight lines. I'm going to make a bit of a mess of this. And so in the end, here are the forces acting. We have the weight that goes straight down, we have the friction force which points up the ramp, and we have the normal force which is perpendicular to the ramp. Honestly, knowing the way things point, that weight is down, friction force is parallel to the ramp and opposes motion, and normal force is perpendicular to the ramp, we actually didn't need any of that big fat analysis that I just did in order to figure out the correct directions. The answer, by the way, is choice 4. But it at least walks you through how those the lengths were found and why the directions are what they are. But let's move on. So number 2 says if you increase the angle of this ramp, we have a 50 kilogram box on a ramp, what would happen to the force F to push that box at constant speed, and also the work done as it goes from A to B? Well, you might be wondering, what do they mean by work? And that's a good thing to wonder because we haven't talked about work yet. So, but I'm mostly interested in that pushing force. So as the angle increases, all right, well, first of all, as that angle increases, if the angle of the ramp were to increase, then more of the weight of that block, of that, is it a block? What is it? A crate. More of the weight of that crate would be down the ramp or downhill, and less of its weight would be into the ramp, would be contacting the ramp. So basically, as the angle increases, F parallel increases and F perpendicular decreases. So if there's more of the weight pointing down the ramp, if you want to push that crate up the ramp at a constant speed, and there's more of the weight going down the ramp, you're going to have to push harder with a greater F push in order to get that block going at constant speed up the ramp. So if angle increases, then the force, the pushing force, would have to increase in order to keep it going at that same constant speed. So that's the most important takeaway from this problem so far. As the angle increases, you're going to need more F push to maintain the net force and the constant speed. So the answer is actually choice 2 or choice 4. The key is that in terms of how much work is it going to take, the work depends on how high the block is, the block, crate, whatever, box. How high is it going to go? If you're going to increase its height, you have to do more work. But if it's going to be the same height, if B stays at the same height, it's going to be the same work. Why is that true? It has to do with the change in the gravitational potential energy. What the heck am I talking about? Don't worry about it. We'll deal with energy later. Right now, I'm just concerned about the ramp bit, so if you chose 2 or 4, it's fine. Next question. Number 3 is another ramp question. We have a 10 kilogram block. Mass of the block is 10 kilograms, and it also says that the incline, the angle of the ramp is 15 degrees. And it says as you increase the angle to 30 degrees, what happens to the mass? Happens to mass. What happens to the mass? A whole lot of nothing. Nothing. I can't spell the word nothing. Nothing. Nothing happens because that mass is inertia. Mass does not depend on a ramp angle. Mass is going to 3 remain the same. So a little bit of a trick question. They're like, oh yeah, look at this fancy ramp and we're changing the angle and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, mass stays the same. Next. All right, so 4 is interesting. We have a block being pulled up the ramp with a constant velocity and a friction force opposing that motion of 3 newtons. The angle is 30 degrees, and it wants to know what is that pulling force in order for the block to move at constant velocity. Well, the constant velocity bit, remember, means that the net force is 0, and if we're interested about the pulling force, let's take a look at net is pull minus friction. All right, so we know that our net force is 0, and we know that our friction force is 3 newtons. So the pulling force must be 3 newtons, right? Great. 3 newtons is choice nothing. What? 3 newtons isn't there. There must be something else going on. Let's not forget the fact that we are on a ramp, and there is an F parallel. There's an F parallel, a portion of the weight of that block that is going downhill, down the ramp. We have to account for that too. So we actually have 2 downhill forces. And if the downhill forces are 8 newtons, and again, like I said, my net force is 0, then that uphill, the pulling force going up the ramp, must equal 8 newtons as well. So our answer is choice 2. Okay, for 5, we have a 100,000 Newton truck, 1 times 10 to the 5. It is at rest, and the angle of the ramp it's on is 8 degrees, and it wants to know what's the components of the truck's weight parallel to the hill. What is F parallel? Well, F parallel we know is weight sine theta. Weight sine, not letting me dot my I's. There we go, weight sine theta. And so we put in 100,000 newtons on the weight, sine of 8 degrees. That is a small angle. Can't put in it, there we go. And we get 1.4 times 10 to the 4 newtons, and that's choice 3, which is small compared to 100,000, but our angle is also very small. 8 degrees is not much of anything. The truck is at rest, which means the friction force is also equal to that F parallel, but they didn't ask about the friction force. They didn't ask about the net force. It really just doesn't apply here. They just wanted F parallel. All right, whatever. Next. All right, so number 6 has a sludder on a hill, and it wants to know which one of those forces listed represents the normal force. Well, I know the normal force is perpendicular to the surface, but let's see how that's going to look. So there's our sledder, and we know that the normal force is perpendicular to the hills. Let's make a perpendicular axis. And there's our perpendicular axis, and we're looking for the normal force. And so the normal force will be along this line here. And that is the perpendicular force. That's the response of the hill to the component of the sledder's weight that contacts the hill. That's the normal force is equal to F perpendicular, the portion of the sledder's weight that is perpendicular to the hill. And if you take a look at your choices, you can see that it would be choice 3. Now, where does the 60 degrees come from? That's from a little bit of geometry. All right, so if I draw a parallel line there, I can see that this right here, from that parallel line, parallel to the ground, that's also 30 degrees because of alternate interior angles. And if this portion right here, from here to here, we know that is perpendicular, that's 90 degrees. So therefore, the complement, this angle right here, that would be 60 degrees. So that's where the 60 degrees comes from. Number 7, I think this was on your forces test. We have 3 forces acting. We got the normal force, the friction, and the weight. That's a nice, lovely diagram. I would prefer that all the forces start from the center of the object, but whatever. So it goes blah, 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 and it says the box is at rest, so let's write that down. Box is at rest, and then it asks, what is the net force on the box? Well, if something's at rest, we know that the net force is equal to 0, and so the answer is choice 4. Notice I didn't have to refer to the diagram because it does not matter. Yeah, it's a bit of a trick. It's not actually a ramp question at all. If any box is at rest, I don't care what it's doing, where it is, the net force on it is 0 because it's not accelerating. Choice 4. I'll give you one ramp fact. It's not what they asked, but I can tell you that the force of friction going up the ramp must equal F parallel, the portion of the weight, the component of the weight that is parallel to the ramp. So if you do weight sine theta, that's what the friction force would be equal to. Okay, last but not least, number 8. We have an 8 Newton block, so we know that the weight of the block is 8 newtons. And it's on a frictionless ramp, so there's no friction. You just hear that garbage can roll by. And then we have an angle of 15 degrees to our ramp, and it is accelerating. It's accelerating down the ramp, so we know that the acceleration is not 0. And therefore, if the acceleration is not 0, then I know my net force is not 0. And it wants to know, what is that net force? Well, we could try F net equals ma, or A equals F net over m. That's how they're rated on the reference table, but I'm not going to use either one of those guys because I have no idea what the acceleration is. So instead, I'm going to use the old standby F net equals F push minus the friction force, and there is no friction force. It said it's a frictionless ramp. So the net force is simply the pushing force. But then you could say, well, what's the pushing force? What's pushing it down the ramp? The components of the weight parallel to the ramp. There's F perpendicular as well. That's the components of the weight pushing into the ramp, and the ramp responds with the normal force, but that's not the piece that actually pushes that pushes the block down the ramp. That would be F parallel, and we can solve for F parallel. And all of our numbers are to 2 sig figs, so that F parallel of 2.07 newtons will round out to 2.1 newtons, and that would be, oh, it's not multiple choice, that would be the answer. 2.1 newtons equals the net force. Awesome. Okay, thanks.